Welcome to the 30th meeting of the Liquor Commission. Please turn your cell phones completely off, as even the vibration may affect the microphones that are recording this proceedings. When addressing the commission, please remember to state and spell your name clearly and to speak into the microphone. I see we have some minutes to approve.
Yes, Chair.
May I have a motion?
Yes, Chair. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the 17th meeting, November 6th, 2025.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the 17th, 11/6/2025 meeting as previously circulated. Is there any objections or reservations?
No.
Seeing none, the chair also votes aye. The minutes are approved. Moving into our next agenda item, preliminary hearings, calling agenda item number 1, application number 25-02122 from 7-Eleven Green Tree Inc.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ms. Anna Harai, Naomi Cole on behalf of the applicant. Present to my right is authorized agent, Mr. Jonathan Lee. We have no changes to investigative report.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions or form of action?
I have none. No questions.
I have none.
Make a motion to approve application number 25-02122 for public hearing.
second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 25-02122 for public hearing. Any objections or reservations? Seeing none, the chair also votes aye. Application number 25-02122 is approved for public hearing.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the agenda, going to requests, agenda item number 2, request number 26-01540 from House It Brewing LLC.
Good afternoon, Justin Heikkinen, Heikkinen.
So, Mr. Heikkinen, this is just to.
Oh, yeah, so it's just to redo our temporary extension as we continue the process of getting our permanent one.
Okay,
Our landlord, their lawyer had some weird language on a parking agreement that we had that rather than saying 4 spaces, they said not less than 1, but they didn't give us the upper bound. And so
Oh.
it needs to go to HCDA approval, and that's not gonna cut it. So we're just waiting for their lawyers to file the new agreement for the parking for us.
okay. So this is basically in the parking lot, right? The extent.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that it's been right now. It's just we want to get it permanent, but we just, with the wording we have right now, it's not gonna make it to zoning.
Okay.
just a question.
Yep.
You said it has to go through HCDA?
Yeah, for the permanent extensions, we're at in Kaka'ako, it goes to HCDA for final zoning approval.
Okay, thank you.
And so
Yeah.
your temporary has already got this in it, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so you just extend it. Got it. No other questions.
Okay, I have no questions. Commissioners, a form of action.
Make a motion to approve request number 26-01540.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 26-01540. Any objections or reservations? Seeing none, the chair also votes aye. Request number 26-01540 is approved.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Moving on to other business, agenda item number 3, request number 26-01533.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chair, members of Commission, Keith Kiyuchi for the applicant. This is a request to waive Rule 3-82.45.2, which prohibits transfer or new application of a hostess license within 500 feet of a hostess cabaret or strip license. And this is the middle bar of the 3 bars over in Sheridan Street, 818 Sheridan Street.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions or form of action? Basically, right, this is like, the rule basically says you cannot get another one, right, within so many feet.
Correct.
And this rule is proposed to repeal in the current rule amendment process.
okay,
No questions. Make a motion to approve request number 26-01533.
second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 26-01533. Any objections or reservations? Seeing none, the chair also votes aye. Request number 26-01533 is approved.
Thank you.
All right, going on to other matters, calling agenda item number 4, liquor administrator, operating statistics, section status. status and information. We'll start with number one, enforcement.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Vice Chair. Seth Nair, Chief Investigator.
Enforcement Supervising Investigator Glenn Shigata.
So today we'll be sharing stats from the enforcement section. The first slide. So as the first slide, if you could, in 2025, we had a total of 216 complaints. Out of that complaints, the top type of complaints is going to be noise complaints. We have 87 of those. Conduct of employees drinking on duty, 23, followed by serving to minors at 21. For 2026, we currently have 16 and counting complaints. And there's kind of a graph on the right side or on your left that shows basically the numbers from 2025 versus 2026. Next, please. And this map is a map of complaints received in 2025. So we've kind of put some pin drops in areas where the noise complaints were existing. So majority of the noise complaints are coming from District 6, which is the Waikiki area. As you all know, it's most saturated, most populated areas. The fact that the majority of the noise came from that particular area, District 6. Once again, we received 87 complaints in 2025. Next, please. In January 2026, last month, we currently have 16 complaints total, and out of those 16, we have 18 complaints. As you see again, we have a trend here. If you look at majority of the complaints, which is 8, are in District 6, again, the Waikiki area, the most saturated populated areas. And I'll turn this over to the next slide to Glenn.
So in January 2026, we conducted a total of 510 inspections. Out of that, 373 was the randomized normal inspections, and then the rest is the breakdown of 33 was complaints. So even though we had 16 complaints, there were 33 investigations or inspections, because some of these complaints needed more than just one inspection or investigation per the complaint, per the type. So it could be employee drinking or noise or operating a term of license, different types, you know. The other miscellaneous, where it says 47, we use that for our AEL, annual employee list. Instead of putting it under normal investigation, we put it as other miscellaneous, that drop box down. So that way it doesn't reflect a normal investigation, because it was assigned to us to issue a warning or a violation.
So when you say normal investigation, these are scheduled investigations?
Correct. We use a randomizer. So we click on a zip code, it'll pop up 10 licensees to inspect, and we go from there. So each team would have between 10 and 14 premises to inspect per night.
And the complaints are based on complaints received to you from outside?
Correct.
How many of that, I don't know if you know, but how many of that 47 is employee list? Does it make sense to break it out into a separate category?
31 on the next page, in the next slide, it has 31 for annual employee list.
Okay.
So I would have to kind of filter down on what the other 16 were, but that's pretty much, yeah. And then you want to go to the next slide, though? And here we have the violations. So in January, we had 42 violations, which shows 31 was the annual employee list. 2 was no registered manager, which is retail. So we do a warning, and then we do a follow-up, and if they don't comply, it turns into a violation. The rest is all single counts.
So just January, the other month, right?
Correct. And then the next slide. So this is our warnings for January. It kind of gives you a breakdown. We wrote 17 warnings for the month of January of 2026. And you guys have any questions?
No, good info, thank you.
So there, I know you said in the first slide, right, the registered manager, retail, class 4, the violations, that was follow-ups, correct?
Correct. So we write a warning,
Right.
and then we do a follow-up, and if they're not in compliance, it turns into a notice of
Or
violation.
is it the following month or is it a couple months after we do the
It
follow-up?
would be within 2 weeks' time. the
Okay,
Follow-up is done.
I just was wondering, as I see we have in January 2026, we got 4 warnings for that same kind of registered not on duty, so I'm assuming we either can get a couple of those in the next couple of months that are gonna be violations, or they're gonna fix themselves
Correct.
up and not have any, right?
Correct.
So one of the
It's gonna
two.
overlap because of
Yeah.
January, and
Yeah.
December.
Okay, that's what I was just wondering. Okay, thank you.
With just this January one, and if you recall in recent months, a latter part of last calendar year. Did you see any of those establishments with a failure to display their liquor license?
I believe we had a couple within the last year from 2025 to 2026. I would have to go back and look exactly.
Yeah, cause I didn't see any, and usually that's one of the things where it may not be openly displayed when you walk in, you know?
So we usually write a warning for those. Because we know they're a licensee, they have a license, they're just not displaying it. By law, they should have it displayed, so we write a warning. Come back in 2 weeks, if it's not displayed again, then it turns into a violation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No,
I have no other question.
thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it?
That's
That
it.
is it.
Oh, shucks.
You'll get a chance again next month.
Yeah.
It's gonna be monthly.
Another bite at the apple?
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing on agenda item number 4, we'll call the second operational statistics and section status and information under auditing.
Aloha Commissioners, Vice Chair. Jared Guzman, Administrative Services Officer. To my left is Stacy Jiang. She is our auditing supervisor. You are all familiar with the licensing component of our compliance operations as well as the enforcement component of our compliance. And so now Stacy will tell you about the auditing section.
So Vice Chair, Commissioners, thank you for giving me this opportunity to briefly introduce our section. Today, I just want to give you a briefly introduction about who we are, what we do, why we do it, and how we do it. Okay. I know this is my first time to speak in front of you, right? And I just know that that we're gonna have more opportunities to discuss, right? So today it's just about the operation of our section, okay? And next. So let's start with who we are first. We are a team dedicated to serving the liquor industry and our community. As an auditor, we really focus on 3 values: integrity, objectivity, and the professional competence. So what we do, actually, we really primarily focus on gross liquor sales filing. But on top of that, we have different levels of duties or responsibilities. So we really believe that training education is the foundation to help licensee become successful in the operation. And then we also offer inspection, pre-audit, and audit. So our goal is to educate and support the licensees to help them succeed. And at the meantime, they remain compliant with our liquor laws and the rules. Next.
But Stacy, what kind of inspection do you do?
Inspection?
Can you go back to the last slide? Doug?
Sure. Actually, we have a specific part to
Okay,
focus on. Yes, give me a second.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so before we go further, I would like to introduce you to some concept, related to the gross liquor sales, right? Let's start with the definition of gross liquor sales. What is gross liquor sales? Sometimes you hear two different things. Sometimes you hear gross sales, but actually it means the same thing. So gross sales by Hawaii revised statute, it means the total receipts actually received from the sale of liquor for which the license has been issued without deduction on account of the cost of property sold or expenses of any kind. So it sounds a lot, but in simple language, it means whatever the licensee collect from sale of the liquor, you need to report it as gross liquor sales. So it depends on the licensee's classes. Gross liquor sales might include net liquor sales and GET if assessed, or the complimentary drinks given to the customers. Or if you belong to the retailers, you may need to add the liquor bottle fee. Next. So after we figure out the gross liquor sales amount, the licensee are advised to file gross liquor sales report. It is very important because it's part of our source of revenue. So I like to point out that the picture, that the scale, right? So you have a left side, right side. So we have revenue and expenses. We need to figure out expenses occurred for this agency to run the operation. And then we need to collect the fee, the revenue to support the expenses. So the two major sources of the revenue include license renewal fee, which is a fixed fee, fixed set of the fee, and additional license fee. That's what we focus on today. Next. So it sounds like a simple concept, but in reality, licensees do make mistakes and then come to these violations. So I like to pinpoint some of the common audit-related rule violations. Late or non-filing of gross liquor sales report. So they didn't submit or they just submit late. Not maintaining adequate books and the records. They provide something, but it's not enough for us to determine the accurate gross liquor sales amount. Unable to provide records for inspection, they just refuse to provide to us anything. Or filing an inaccurate gross liquor sales report. So, you know, like we go over the gross liquor sales, right? We basically ask the licensee, okay, report everything you collected. But sometimes, for any reasons, they either over-report gross liquor sales or under-report gross liquor sales amount. Or sometimes they just fail to include complimentary drinks or samples they provide to the customers. Okay, so all these are the violations to prevent or directly have an impact on our revenue. Next. So we believe that training or education is critical to help licensees become successful in their operation, or mainly to help them to understand the rules and laws to make them to become compliant with the liquor laws. So what kind of training do we provide? For the new licensees, we provide orientation. So we have a template to go over the rules and laws related to the gross liquor sales. Every July, we hold 3 workshops on 3 Fridays to go over the rules and laws and teach the licensee, especially the new licensee, how to file gross liquor sales report before the deadline. The deadline is July 31st of each year. And we are developing a future project. We're trying to come up with a new project. It's AI-powered recorded gross liquor sales orientation. We expected to have it finalized this year or have it posted on our website this year. And the most important is inspection. We believe inspection is the most important part of the training. Next one.
I have a question before you go to the next one. On these workshops, are they in person or are they online?
Online.
They're all online.
Yeah.
What kind of attendance?
Yeah.
What kind of attendance do you typically
Well,
get?
good question. Actually, last year we had 50 attendees.
50
Mhm.
in total of all 3 of the workshops.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm. Next. Okay, so let's look at inspection. We believe that is an important education tool. So we want to point out whom or which licensee do we select for inspection. Pretty much every new licensee, we want to make sure they have this opportunity to receive. I believe this is an education opportunity. And randomly, we select some existing licensee to go over to inspect to make sure they are okay. When do we do it? When do we conduct inspection? We trying to inspect them within a month after the new licensee pick up their license. Pretty much is on site at the licensee's premises. We go there, we visit them. Why we do that? Because we trying to set up licensee for success. We trying to find out what they didn't do well so that we can prevent them from making mistakes in the future. How we do it? So it's very simple. So when we walk into the premises, we just introduce ourselves, right? And we want to talk to the manager. And then we ask, okay, could you please provide yesterday's sales summary? So we want to look at it if the licensee were able to record liquor and food separately, if they were able to set up the system correctly.
It's just a previously set appointment to meet with them.
And inspection, we don't really set up any appointment. We just random when go in. But we tell the licensee once they pick up the license, we tell them, oh, you know, just be aware in a month or so, one of our auditors will visit you.
How's the reception on the part of the licensee or
Well,
the manager?
Well, we're trying to be nice, right? So we tell them this is for education, so they understand. Yeah.
But
So
are they kind of shocked or surprised when you come in?
Well, we have right now we wear a uniform, right? So we have identified ourselves before we really comes in. So they saw us already. And then we don't want to interrupt the business, right? If they are so busy, we try not to intervene. So we found a good timing and we would approach them nicely.
So normally during the daytime or?
During the daytime, yeah. So pretty much we go out around, if we go out on Friday once a week. Yeah, on Friday we go in and then, yeah. Start from 10 to 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Next. So next level is pre-audit. How we select pre-audit. So pretty much all the licensees with obvious errors in gross liquor sales reporting, we will select them. We want to make sure they are not over-reporting or under-reporting. When do we start it? We pretty much start in September. It's right after the gross liquor sales filing season. And we conduct the pre-audit in our office. Why we do it? As I mentioned just now, we want to ensure the accurate gross liquor sales filing. How we do it? We pretty much email the licensee the requested supporting documents. And then we can receive response either through email or they drop off in person, but pretty much it's done by email. So how do we know this licensee has some errors? It's very obvious errors. So let's say they have a very unreasonable high or low sales to cost ratios compared to the average ratio of its own class. Or they just simply didn't complete the cost of liquor sold that section, leave it blank. Or they report GET or they didn't report GET, but the GET recorded is higher or lower than the normal range of 4.5% to 4.712%. So it's just like a red flag, they raise a red flag. So the highest level is full audit. We have a system to select randomly the licensee. So the L2 system will generate a list of the licensee for us to choose. Or the compliance audits recommended by our enforcement. Or the follow-up audit recommended by the previous year's audit findings. we conduct full audit from January through June. We will start with on-site interview and finish our work in the office. We want to ensure that the licensee file accurate gross liquor sales report and they are compliant with liquor laws and rules. So we go deeper. We do a more thorough, detailed work to examine the source records.
So a question, I guess, would be, so if you have someone for a pre-audit, right, and you work through that with them, do they somehow end up being on a full audit, or is that still just automatically randomized?
Correct. Thank you for that question. That's a good question, right? So we're trying to finalize pre-audit, right? But sometimes they just don't provide books and records. So we cannot finish, then we're gonna escalate to full audit.
Okay.
It really depends on the, yeah.
So at the pre-audit, if they don't qualify or don't get everything done, then they fall into the full audit range at some point.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Next. So we just go over the basic core of what we've been doing, yeah, as our section. So we strongly believe training education is important. Inspection is part of the training. We use pre-audit and audit as tool to educate the licensee to make sure they file accurate gross liquor sales report and be compliant with the liquor laws. And we have more for next time. That's all for today.
Very good.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank
So
you.
with all the work that you have to do, with the staff that you have available, it sounds like you get overwhelmed at times.
Well, you see us three of us, right? The first page. That was 30 years ago when we were young. But well, we have limited, manpower right now. Actually, we really need someone to come on board to help us.
Do you get backlogged or overwhelmed at times? Like I would think, prior to license renewals, you might get overwhelmed with people coming in or work to do for pre-audit or full audits.
Yeah, it's like that's why we have a timeline, right? We're saying that pre-audit for a certain time and the full audit for a certain time, because July and August, that's the time we really focus on the gross liquor sales filing, right? And then during the time when we really conduct the pre-audit, it really depends on what we found, right? And especially for the full audit, it also depends on our findings. Do we need to go deeper to look? If we really need to go deeper, that it takes much longer time for us to finish. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed. Yeah.
So your busiest months would be, or busiest season or months would be when?
Well, we're kind of busy year round, but our busiest time will be July and August. That's the time we really take care of all the licensees. We have 1,400 licensees who file gross liquor sales report. Yeah, we really want to monitor the submission. Yeah, so that's busy time for us.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Stacy. Yes, stay here.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. So we are going to move on to next agenda item 5, liquor administrative matters.
Hello again, Commissioners, Vice Chair, Jerry D. Guzman, Administrative Services Officer. Giving you a weekly report. I will start with staffing. I hope not to make this too long, but there has been lots of discussions about staffing. I'm pleased to say that, we have made a conditional offer to a liquor licensing technician in our licensing section, otherwise known as examiner. So now that person is going through suitability, traffic abstracts and fingerprinting, and we're hoping to bring that person on board before April 1st. Otherwise, recruitment in our field services branch, including enforcement section, is pretty much stable. We have no more entry-level investigator positions to hire. So we're focusing our attention more towards administrative section services branch for recruitment. We've had a string of resignations recently. Mostly due to advancement and promotional opportunities within the city, and that's, you know, common. That's a common thing. So we are recruiting for liquor commission support technician, otherwise known as hearings reporter. Most of that section is currently filled with either temporarily assigned and staff from other sections, or we have one personal service contract, as well as an independent contractor doing hearings work for us. So that's a priority, is to fill that section. We lost our accountant. She got promoted to another division within the city, and it's a well-deserved promotion. So congratulations to her. Currently, Stacy, our TA supervisor, is performing accounting work as well, so she's wearing many hats. Our former accountant does have 6 month return rights, so we're not going to do active recruitment yet, in case she does decide to come back. But we will be reallocating that position up to an accountant 4 position because of the duties that that position performs. It's like duties of a semi-commercial nature. And so per the class specifications, that warrants an accountant 4 reallocation. So we're working towards that. We're also hiring, we have recently hired a liquor control auditor, but that person is resigning for better opportunities in Florida. So we're actively going to be recruiting for that position as well. We are interviewing a potential hire next week for either the accountant or the auditor position. So hopefully that comes to fruition and we'll bring that person on board. We will be losing one of our office assistants in the hearing section. She accepted a promotion elsewhere within the city. Congratulations to her on that. And then of course we have recruitment for our liquor control administrator. We've retained an executive search firm for that. So we're going to have a kickoff meeting to strategize the path forward for the administrator recruitment. And then we will be opening up, or we have opened up recruitment for the supervisor position for the hearing section. Updates operational. So budget, we have budget presentation to City Council on March 10th. And we're prepared for that. Prior to, though, we do have meetings with individual council members. So Council Member Dos Santos Tam, Council Member Tolba, Wire, Tupola, Kia Aina, and Chair Waters. We'll be meeting with them personally to go over our operational budget request.
You meet with them one-on-one or as a group?
One-on-one, sir. So admin, or the acting appointing authority and ASO and executive assistant will be there meeting with the council members. Procurement of body-worn cameras. So the discussion of body-worn cameras has been going on for a while. We've met with the union on that with the union consultations, and we are now procuring the body-worn cameras. We have sent out solicitations for formal quotations. So I'm expecting those quotations to come back by next week, Thursday, after which time we will award and issue notice to proceed. So we have evaluated 3 different body-worn camera systems, and those are the 3 that we are requesting quotations from. So we are prepared to move forward with that as well. And finally, as you know, Liquor Commission values inclusivity, and therefore we require all employees to complete LGBTQ+ training to foster a workplace that promotes inclusivity and respect for all. So in that regard, 3 courses of instruction has been mandated for all Liquor Commission employees to complete by February 27th. Of the 45 active staff members that we have, 36 have completed the training. So we are well on path to be fully compliant with awareness of LGBTQ plus. And any questions? Sir?
Actually, yeah, go ahead. It sounds like promotions are pretty common outside of our agency going to other city agencies, right?
Yes, sir.
Given that fact, how do we handle like succession planning internally? To be able to cover the positions, you know, when somebody does like take a promotion like that, because it seems like if they're gone. And if I use the accountant example that you gave, there's a 6-month return,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so for 6 months, we're without that position and that work falls to somebody else in the staff.
Well, so not necessarily. So we could recruit, potentially recruit, but there's that potential that, you know, the incumbent might come back, and then what do we do with the newly hired person, right? So we do have plans to fill that either with a temporary hire,
So you
personal
can't do
service
temporary
contract,
hires to fill
yes,
the position.
or we can TA somebody, temporarily assign somebody within the division into that position, whoever's capable. Unfortunately, that accountant position is kind of specialized. So we will be looking for hopefully temporarily or personal service contract. In the meantime, again, Stacy has risen up to take that challenge on. But to answer your question, yes, so promotions are coming within the city, and I use myself as an example. So I'm an ASO. I started off as an SR16, right? With a master's degree, and SR16, I think the pay was $3,500 a month. But that's how you got to start, and then you get promoted to an 18, and then in my case to a 22, and then 24, and then now an EM3. So in my mind, that's just to be expected, especially when you have an employee that's just outstanding, right? If they're an outstanding employee that's very motivated, they probably won't stick around. So I'm hoping, and as we're developing our strategic plan, at least for my section, I'm hoping that I'm hoping to develop internal opportunities so that rather than looking elsewhere for higher pay, that we can provide that here, you know, through various levels of you know, positions.
Yeah, good.
So going back to the body-worn camera procurement, yeah? So in the procurement specs, for lack of a better word, and maybe Seth can answer this. Does that include not just the physical camera, but a repository or software for downloading the data and storing it and everything else?
Yes, sir. It includes 5 years of cloud storage, along with software that we can use to like redact, you know, images, you know, per UIPA, technical training and support.
Is 5-year retention the number that is commonly used, or?
So I don't know. I think we may need to explore that more because some of our yeah. So we do have to. So we have research with HPD's retention schedule, and now that I recall, it is 5 years. I think it depends on when the case goes to adjudication.
So as part of the IT PIG group, we've looked at whether or not the retention, so currently the retention would be 5 years, but if a case is pending, such as an investigation or in an adjudication, those files would be held longer because you might need to use them in some type of hearing or personal specs. But I'm not sure if that's the exact same numbers as HPD is running, but that's what we've kind of looked at, right? We have retention up to this point, but if it's needed for an adjudication hearing or a citation was involved that could result in an adjudication hearing, that could result in a longer hold time.
And with the storage, is there a limit to capacity as to how much can be downloaded in there?
So we'll know for sure when we get the quotations back, but I've seen some based on previous quotations. So prior to doing the procurement, right, we got preliminary quotations. So we'll call that the ICE, right, the independent cost estimate. I've seen some storage of 100 gigabytes, and I've seen a quotation that said unlimited storage. So I guess when we get the proposals back, we'll take a look And we'll see which one is most advantageous to Liquor Commission.
Cause this would be a separate storage system apart from LCRS, right?
I believe so. But I can't say for sure.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Sir. Thank you.
All right. Going on to agenda item number 6, Liquor Commission announcements. Any announcements? Seeing none. We're adjourned.